Hey, everybody. Welcome to a Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Well, it's good to see you again. How long have we been gone? A week. I missed you. I hope you missed me. So much has changed in that nothing is changing. Because the big story today is still that I'm still here and you're still there. And we've been that way for almost a year. We're approaching the pandemic's first anniversary. Now, traditionally, the gift for that is paper on a roll next to a toilet. But even as the death toll crosses 500,000, there is some good news because President Biden expects to surpass his goal of 100 million shots in 100 days. And last week, the daily inoculation average climbed to 1.7 million shots per day. So the main question on everyone's mind is, when will things be normal? One professor at Johns Hopkins said, we'll have herd immunity by April. April? That's great. But it does mean I have to get started on my beach bod, because right now I'm rocking more of a washed up on the beach bod. Maybe fished out of the river, dragged out of the lake. Of course, as exciting as this prediction is, keep in mind, it first appeared in the New England Journal of Telling You What You Want to Hear. This month's cover story, most people your age can't pull off a leather jacket, but you look great. So it's happening. We're going back to normal in April, or as President Biden put it slightly differently, by next Christmas. All right? Fine. Next Christmas. Whatever. At least at this year's family meals, we won't be saying, Uncle Phil, you're on mute. We'll be saying, God, I wish we could put Uncle Phil on mute. Anyway, it's the perfect Christmas gift for the Grinch to steal because Dr. Fauci says it's possible we'll still be wearing masks in 2022. Great. We'll be back to normal by April Christmas a year and a half from now. One of those. Any one of those. Let me put it this way. If we were climbing Mount Everest, we'd either be about to summit, about to set up base camp, or thinking about buying a Cliff Bar at CVS. But whatever that, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm feeling, right? Well, yeah. Where are we? We're in purgatory here. Whenever it happens, the country's going to be more than ready. In fact, a new survey found that 38% of Americans would give up sex for a year to go on a trip immediately, which means an astounding 38% of Americans have had sex this year. Evidently, some people are turned on by a hot bowl of couch lasagna. You're looking logy. Oh, there was a little news tidbit you might have missed last week when the Senate acquitted the former president in his second impeachment trial for insurrection. We were on break when it happened, but I promise we will have full coverage of his third impeachment. But old Dolt 45's not out of the woods yet because today the Supreme Court denied his final bid to block the release of his tax returns. Woohoo! That's it. Thank you. That was hardly even dangerous. Break out the champagne glasses and the reading glasses. There's going to be some fine print, y'all. And I'll give you the 411 on the 1099s in our new, hopefully very recurring segment. The nice thing about being gone for a week is you don't miss a step. Nope. I'm still got it, baby. For years, I thought it was going to be one of those popper things that really endangers everyone around you. Yeah, exactly. This is why rehearsal is handy. For years, the former president has been desperate to prevent prosecutors from getting their hands on any documents that might get him in legal trouble. So, any documents. But today, the High Court ruled that he had to hand over his financial history to the Manhattan DA, who's been conducting a criminal investigation that could lead to conspiracy fraud charges, which are B felonies. Good, because he be a felon. Given the potential charges, the former president could be sent to jail if convicted. I can't wait to see it all play out in the new Netflix series, Orange is the New Orange. Nobody knows what the exact charges related to the family businesses are yet, but they could implicate company executives Don Jr. and Eric. Dad, the judge says we have to do a sleepover for 10 years. I call top bunk. I want to make toilet hooch. It's okay if you have to shiv me. In response, the former president called it a fishing expedition. Dad, we're going fishing too. Just like in the credits of the Andy Griffith Show. I think I'm doing myself periodontal damage when I do that. When asked whether this was a so-called fishing expedition, the Manhattan DA responded,
"You're going to need a bigger boat."
Things continue to be rough down in Texas. Last week, the Lone Star State was hit by a freak winter storm that knocked out power. Millions of Texans are still without running water, and there are food shortages all across the state. If you're looking to help, and I know you are, we have some suggested charities you can donate to. Just head over to colbertlateshow.com/Texas, and please give generously. Now, this might shock you, but there are states besides Texas that have to deal with the phenomenon known as winter. It's true, you can look it up. So why did they lose power and water and heat down there? Well, in Texas, all of those things are dependent upon their electrical grid, and in an effort to avoid federal regulation, Texas is the only state in the continental United States to operate its own grid. Well, Texans like to have their own stuff. Grids, toast, chainsaw massacres. In addition, Texas is a fan of extreme capitalism, so they handed their grid over to the invisible hand of the market, meaning that anytime there's a lack of supply and a huge demand, prices skyrocket out of control. So last week, in the middle of this Arctic blast, electricity in Texas approached $9,000 per megawatt hour, which is an increase of 180 times the average rate before the storm. In fact, one man was stuck with a $16,752 electric bill. To which America's fathers replied, "See, this is what happens when you push the thermostat above 66. I'm putting some tape on it. I'm taping it down. We're not heating the whole neighborhood." So clearly, the system is very bad for the people, but very good for the energy companies, some of which earned more profit on Monday and Tuesday alone than they would have gained through an entire year of normal operation. As one energy company spokesman explained, "Gold! Gold! I'm rich, I tell you! Gold! Gold! Gold!" So it's no wonder Texas power companies did not prepare for this disaster, even though back in 2011, federal regulators warned Texas that its power plants couldn't be counted on to reliably churn out electricity in bitterly cold conditions. But you know what they say? Those who fail to learn from history were probably educated in Texas. That warning came from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC. No one listened to them, and now, Ermagerd, Texas is FERC'd. The guy in charge of the Lone Star State back then was former Texas governor and man wondering what happens to the sun at night, Rick Perry. Last week, Perry defended his state's ludicrous energy setup, saying Texans would be without electricity for longer than 3 days to keep the federal government out of their business. That statement, of course, was so dumb, Rick Perry immediately tried to make himself seem smarter by wearing a second pair of glasses. Of course, there's one guy in Texas giving Rick Perry a run for his dummy. Senator and man whose face was seized by an angry mob, then tarred and pubed, Ted Cruz. At the height of the crisis last week, folks on social media spotted Ted Cruz boarding a flight to Cancun. Because you know what they say, when the going gets tough, Ted Cruz gets gone. The senator got a lot of criticism for that, so he immediately swallowed his pride, pulled himself up by his own bootstraps, and threw his daughters under a bus. With school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon. See, he was just being a good dad, unlike all those terrible fathers who were huddling with their kids for warmth. Reminds me of FDR's famous speech.
December 7th, 1941, a date that was my daughter Anna's fault. Come on, honey, why didn't you warn me the Japanese were coming? You're grounded!
Turns out, it wasn't only cowardly, it was a lie, because according to a leak from United Airlines. Cruz was initially booked to return home Saturday, and he booked his return ticket at 6 a.m. Thursday. Oh, that's embarrassing. Plus, he was in coach, so they charged him $25 to check his douchebag. As part of the fallout, United is now investigating the flight info leak. That's going to be tricky. Okay, everybody, think. Who would have leaked this? Who hates Ted Cruz? Okay, all right. Is there any way to narrow that down? After Ted flew back to Texas, he decided to fess up to reporters.
I started having second thoughts almost the moment I sat down on the plane. Leaving when so many Texans were hurting didn't feel right, and so I changed my return flight and flew back on the first available flight I could take.
Too late, Teddy. You already did the bad thing. We already know you did the bad thing. We already know you lied about the bad thing. You're like an old-timey villain going, you know, tying that damsel to the train tracks just did not feel right. So I took the first train back after the accident so I could be here for the grieving family. Now, which box has the head? In typical Ted Cruz fashion, every detail that comes out of this story is more Ted Cruzier than the last one. For example, Senator Ted Cruz failed to mention his college roommate also was along for the visit. I gotta say, that makes the "I was just escorting my kids" excuse sound really weird. Hey, you want to fly down to Mexico for some fun? Also, I have to leave immediately. Can you watch the kids? Remember, one margarita apiece. It gets worse, because after Cruz returned, we found out he left his dog behind. Now, before you feel sad for the dog, remember, he got to spend 2 days away from Ted Cruz. But United Airlines has bigger problems than who ratted out Ted Cruz, and I'll tell you all about it in the latest installment of my beloved segment, Keep in Mind, Everyone's Fine.
I'm okay.
Remember, before you watch the footage I'm about to show you, keep in mind, everyone's fine. Shortly after takeoff on a United flight from Denver to Honolulu, a passenger shot this video of, oh my God! Oh my God! Now that is a good reason to use flight attendant call buttons. Hi, yeah, excuse me. I'm not a pilot. I'm sure this is a dumb question. But that engine on fire out there, is that ours? Is one keeping our plane in the air? Okay. Quick follow-up question. You're going to bring the drink cart around again, right? Now keep in mind, everyone's fine. After the engine blew up and got all flamey, pilots issued a mayday, turned around, and landed safely back in Denver. But people on the ground got a scare too because debris rained down on the suburban neighborhood. Wow. Now I'm assuming that fell off the plane, unless the middle fell out of Colorado. We've got a great show for you tonight. My guest is Bill Gates, but when we return, meanwhile, stick around.